Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Full Force live news burst special with me, Christopher McLeod AKA Diagnostic 80, brought to you by GeneralsJoesReborn.com and all that good stuff. How is everyone doing? Got a few little stories that I'm kind of catching up on because yesterday I did a Patreon video, so I didn't really have enough time to go live, even though we had a few little bits of news to really talk about. One, of course, being the continued pre-order fiasco that is Cobra Commander. And yeah, I'll go out on go on a limb and say it hasn't been the best drop, has it ever? Now the first was it a couple of days ago when I went live, I was kind of saying to people in the chat, would it be, do you think you'd feel better if tomorrow's pre-order drop kind of like allowed it? And everyone was like, yeah, that'd be much better. It'd be great. I'll forgive them for everything. And it was once again an absolute dumpster fire, selling out in like it can't even be minutes, can it? I think it was more seconds than minutes. But and then of course overnight has been dipping in and out sporadically, going in stock and then out of stock, and then what is going on? Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself, but it's gone absolutely crackers. So we'll be talking about that a little bit more. We've got another image for the Mega Blocks or Mega range of G.I. Joe figures, or Ace in particular, and to look at. And we'll be checking out those sort of leaked classified parts images and seeing if we can like ascertain where we think certain things go, because some things are pretty obvious and some things are a little bit like, I wonder what that could be. So yeah, we'll get stuck into that as well. Hope everyone's doing well in the chat. Lots of you, and I will ask the question at the end of the episode how you did. Well, actually, we'll probably start with actually we're going to start with something a little bit different, because it's gone a bit quiet on the whole HasLab front. So let's get stuck in and get into that, shall we? Yes, so the HasLab, this hasn't been, it's still locked, by the way. There you go, clearly. But the HasLab has definitely gone into sort of like chill mode, where it's that kind of dip, isn't it? And we're not really you're not getting like loads and loads and loads of backers like every 5 minutes. But we have broken 13,000, which I did expect to happen. I will admit I probably expected that to happen a little sooner, but I think we're very close, obviously, to getting the Cobra Rattler Gunner, who will be next to unlock at 14,000 orders. And then, of course, it is the turn of the Baroness at 18,000. I still think it's going to comfortably grab both of these figures because we still got 30-something days left. I mean, there's a long time to go. So I'm not concerned at all. I'm just, it's interesting, isn't it, how I would say the campaign has, do I use puns, tailed off a little bit? Yeah. Tail fin. What else was I going to say that might be pun related? Stalling. Is it midair stalled a little bit? Is it kind of like coming down? Is it dropping a little bit? But no, I mean, it happens with all of these campaigns. I will be interested to see where it finishes, and also I will. Although I'm still pretty sure we're going to hit 18,000. In any case, we've broken 13,000, and we're looking to the Rattler Gunner to unlock next. And we've got, I mean, the most important thing is we've got the patches there in lockdown, right? Anyway, so with the HasLab thing, like I said, it's broken 13,000 now. The current amount that it's at this very moment in time, with 33 days, 4 hours, 38 minutes, and 29, 28, 27 seconds to go, is 13,028. So we're well past that. I actually, when I left work earlier at 3:30, I think it was at 12,999. So it's moving still, just not as fast as it was before. But that, again, I still expect to see both figures unlocked by the end of this period of time. And like I said, what's left? How many? Yeah, 33 days basically, and change. So I think we're good. Yeah. Medic says, I find the excitement isn't as high as last year. Speculation on the tiers was so much fun last year. That's actually a good point. Like not knowing what they were going to be, and then like having those, yeah, that definitely ramps it up a little bit. They may have to like trickle something in there, even if it's just you know, updates, like a little video update, looking at the full model. Like, you know, the team maybe looking at the model and going through all the features and all that kind of stuff. I think things like that probably have to happen just to kind of like spark interest again. But you're right. It doesn't help for me being this kind of mentality as well, where it's like, oh, this is new. This is fun. Oh, this is newer. This is now more fun. It's like the shiniest, most recent object seems to get the most attention. And the fact that we had the Rattler come out when we had a ton of pre-orders go up, we had, you know, like name onlys and digital renders and stuff like that. It kind of, I'm not saying it kind of like covers it over or like hides it a little bit or buries it in a sense, but it certainly does take some of the edge off. Yeah, but in any case, I think it's still a good idea to launch them at SDCC. Launch being close, it's close enough as a pun. Right. Talib says that would be a good question for the Joe team. Why they show the tiers opposed to last year? Yes, I will. You're right, actually. That is a good question. It's worth asking, isn't it? Why that decision? And all HasLabs this year has shown everything up front, says Scott. So maybe, yeah, maybe it's just a HasLab in general move. Maybe it's a move by Hasbro themselves as a company to say, yeah, we're not hiding stuff from our customers anymore. We're just going to go full force and give them everything at once. Sort of like I do when I give you 27 long form live streams a week. Yeah, good luck keeping up with that. Chris, has anyone brought up the Baroness boots, their heels? I don't see her posing well. We've experienced that badly before, right? Well, I think for the Baroness, I think, you know, it's definitely part of her character. She rocks the heels and always looks good doing it. In terms of heels we've had in the past, we've sort of had a slight heel on Akiko, but Akiko's well good. I haven't had any issues with Akiko, like you know, balancing or anything like that. She gets in amazing positions, and there's more sort of like little kind of little wedge things at the back of the shoe, so it's more the height of the foot. But still, I don't think I think other than that, this will be the first heel, right? They're not the most practical pilot shoes, though, are they? Let's face it. But no, Blitz, I don't think anyone's really brought that up. Ed says, it does dilute the HasLab. So much other stuff to squirrel distract us. Indeed, yeah, squirrel. I probably just, Phoebe can probably hear me upstairs shouting squirrel now, and she's going to be like, her ears will prick up. I got 5. Let's keep this line alive so we can get the best of G.I. Joe Classified line. We'll be all right, Mark P. But yeah, I agree. Let's get in there. I'm not going to get 5 of them. Hell no, that's crazy pants. But also, I mean, it's amazing. I can't wait. I can't wait for this, for the Rattler. I can't wait for the Dragonfly. Yeah, so many cool things coming. Jamie Lynn says, I'm not overly concerned, but I do hope that the Joe team realizes that they do need to promote the Rattler with a couple of live streams, especially since they haven't delivered on the Dragonfly yet. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's always going to be the crossover, though, isn't there? There's always going to be that crossover if we haven't had this one in hand before we get the next one, but they're not necessarily that related. I mean, if you're basing the Rattler on previous HasLabs that have delivered, base it on the His Tank, which again is absolutely phenomenal, isn't it? So I think, like, if you're worried about like track record, I mean, the His Tank, I have just been blown away by how amazing that is. It looks like they're putting more into, as in that they're putting more effort and energy and time to make sure the Dragonfly is absolutely spot on. So I don't think we'll have many issues with that. Well, I don't know until we get it in hand. So I don't really think it informs the next one necessarily, because they're two completely different things, aren't they? Three completely different things in a sense. All you can really go by is their track record on what has come out, which in this case is a HIS tank and a very good one. So yeah, I don't think there's going to be any issues necessarily in that sense. There's always going to be crossover though, with one not having been out and one being promoted based on the yearly release schedule. Eben says probably because if tier 1 opened and people saw patches, they would have rioted. Yeah, possibly. Heals also hurt, says WJ. Yeah, absolutely. Scott, I would think we will get a live stream when they hit 14,000. Yeah, that's a possibility. When they break that, they get that first figure locked down. That's a good point actually. Talib says, if you pose classified without stands, you have more patience than me. The domino effect when they fall over is so irritating for me. Talib, every one of mine, bar a couple. I think I've got 2 on stands, and only because they came with them and I couldn't be bothered to put the stands away. Everyone else is freestanding. And in every display, you'd have a heart attack, honestly. But no, I've only ever had one issue where one fell over and knocked another one over, but other than that, they're really well balanced. I think once you get a bit of patience, yeah. And I do spend like about a few hours. There'll be like a day I'll be like, I want to change this display a little bit, but yeah. We need a new retro Baroness with these heels, says Kevjul. Yeah, I think they'll probably do another Baroness based on this body. I've got you can just kind of see it, can't you? I could see them doing a retro one in blue with the yellow padding, because there's it looks like a few people have spotted that there might be that kind of design element in this figure under the secondary. So yeah, and double elbows, says Scott. Yeah, of course. Ed says, I'm doing my part and purchased 2. Can't go in as deep as the HIS times 4, but more than the Dragonfly. Just the 1. That's still a lot of stuff there, Ed. That's a lot of stuff. X Factor says, just received my acceptance letter for graduate school and my Tiger Paw just showed up all within 2 minutes of each other. Then I open my phone and see Chris is live. Let's freaking go. Yeah, sorry to ruin all that. X Factors, you're having a good day there. And then I go live. Seeing Wild Weasel and Baroness reminisces on G.I. Joe issue 34 Shakedown. Yes, indeed. I just imagine that some people may not back out of spite, like the people who take their ball and go home over patches. I mean, that's always going to happen. And then you've got to kind of factor in the FOMO element. People will probably change their mind at some point, given some time to reflect on it. And some people do actually back out and never come back again. And it's like, it's cool. I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. There's no, if that's how you're treating it, then you're not going to change anyone's mind in that sense. Ed says HasLab 2025 Killer Whale with Cutter, Deep Six, and Lady J Diver. That would be really cool. I'll have to eat ramen for a while so I can begrudgingly buy a couple Dragonfly second market. Oh, it sucks. I'll need to numb up probably Blitz. Chris, if you start to sell hats with the Full Force logo, I'll fund next year's HasLab alone. What do you think? First off, Mark, wow. Secondly, I definitely want to do Full Force hats. Definitely. It's definitely on the cards, and the merch is just around the corner because I'm sure you're all desperate for it. Flint loves to fall over, says Christoph. Never fallen over for me, Christoph. I'm not just saying that. He is the one. Him and Tiger Force Flint have just decided never to fall over ever. They're right. I can show you sort of, but you won't be able to see them, I don't think. Well, you might be able to see them. So if I do that, let me see. Flint is there. He's not leaning against he's right there where my finger is. He's not leaning against that white panel. He's just next to it. He's about half an inch off it, but he has never moved. He's never fallen. And Tiger Force Flint is there, front and center of the end, this end square here. You might be able to see if you look really close. I don't know if you probably can't see anything doing that. But anyway, they have never moved ever in their lives. They've just always been like, yeah, I'm solid. Yeah, so I've never had an issue with Flint. Okay, I'm moving on because we've got news to talk about, haven't we? So let's talk El Cobra Commander. Did I have the exclusives image or did I remove that? No, it's that one, isn't it? I don't know why I've switched these two round. I must have done that by accident. Doesn't matter. HasBRO exclusives, right? Yeah, there's an image. So Cobra Commander, my goodness. So as I said at the beginning, we had a bit of a fiasco with the first pre-order, and I say fiasco, I didn't have an issue, and I know a lot of people didn't, but somehow it sold out in like 2 minutes. It was like 5 minutes that first day, I think. Either way, insanity. It might have been less than that because I looked at 105 and it sold out. It was crazy, and obviously that happened. That caused a huge dumpster fire, fandom dumpster fire of the highest proportions, which I, by the way, completely understand. When it comes to these things, it does suck because it doesn't feel to me like it was a fair fight. What it should have, I think, from the first error was 5 per customer. That was error number 1. And I think by doing that, it 100% added to the rapidity, not a word, added to the speed with which that product sold out. 100%. I don't even think 2 was necessary. I think you could have just gone 1. I know, like, people want to switch their heads around and have different display models. I get that. I get it. But I still don't think it's. I think with an SDCC exclusive, I don't think too many people would have been upset about that. But like 2, right? Fine. Let's just say limit of 2. That makes it like exponentially better still than the limit of 5. It is a word. Thank you. I just don't think I said it very. I don't think I said it properly. But rapidity. I'm gonna. Okay, fine. It is fine then, Scott. Okay, fine. All right then, Captain Vocab. Yeah, no, thank you, Scott. So I think, yeah, that was the main problem, because unfortunately, guys, the other problem is popularity, and obviously the other things that come into this, which are the other variables, I personally think, are the fact that Cobra Commander is one of those characters that will always do pretty well. You know, like especially when it's done in a certain way. So the fact that they added that Cobra Commander to the HISS tank probably cranked, the retro one probably cranked it up to 1,000. The Regal Cobra Commander people wanted, the Snake Supreme people wanted. The first one was in such abundance that it didn't seem. Don't think anyone needed every single like multiples of that first Cobra Commander with the dark costume, right? But you ended up with about 5 because there was so many of them. The Regal Cobra Commander, throw in the fact that it was a little bit harder to get, and we should have got it through network, another dumpster fire. And that was one that people really wanted. Snake Supreme did really well from what I can remember. It's not like you can get them very easily, so I'm sure they did. And then, of course, you had the like I said, the one that was thrown in with the HISS tank, which obviously allowed for people to have a proper retro Cobra Commander, which I think lit a fire under the HISS tank as well. Even though it was amazing and people loved it before that, that added an extra element of like, oh yeah. And then, of course, we have prior to this Cobra Commander, we had the retro one, which seemed, well, that sold out like that. Not like in minutes, but it sold out rather rapidly. So that, again, was one of those things. Now, you throw on top of that the SDCC element, the extra commercial aspect, the extra reach that it's getting, all that kind of stuff that comes with an SDCC exclusive, the FOMO of missing out, people that try and collect all the SDCC exclusives, regardless of what they are, people that want to buy all the SDCC exclusives just so they can sell them for more money afterwards. All of those different elements come into it when we're talking about an SDCC exclusive of this level. I've seen a lot of people say, I didn't even like this one, but they ended up buying it anyway. FOMO, or they just were caught up in the furore. They wanted one as well. Crazy stuff. And Diana says, the crazy thing was that at the end of SDCC on Sunday, they stopped caring about their limit to purchase and a person could get all they wanted. Yeah, and it seemed like they had loads to kind of, shift as well. So it was like, I thought at that point, it's not one of those ultra sellouts on the show floor where people are going to really struggle with this. So I was taken by surprise, because I'm thinking when it goes up online, there's going to be a lot of opportunity to get one, because it feels like everyone was able at the show to maybe get one for a couple of friends, that sort of thing. So yeah, anyway, the SDCC element adds another element to this. Cobra Commander element adds another level to this. And then on top of that, there's the movie, which is probably the most reachable to the non deep, how do I put this? The movie's well known, and lots of elements of the film are quite iconic, and Cobra Commander turning into a snake is one of those iconic moments that not everyone who is a massive G.I. Joe fan, all the obviously massive G.I. Joe fans know it, but not everyone else, the kind of periphery, the casual people that are they're aware of it, but they're not massive fans of it, know about that kind of element of it, know about the film, remember it as a kid, just seeing it or whatever on TV or VHS or what have you. So that broadens it again, because it's the movie element, it's the animated movie element. It's a fun set, to be honest. The fact you've got a little snake Cobra Commander in there too, you've got the faceplate, you've got the extra head, you've got the snake Cobra Commander effectively. The box is really gorgeous as well, with that lenticular element on it, so you can see different things in it the way when you look at it. Loads of things about this actually pointed at people are going to want this, they're going to want to sell it, they're going to want to buy it, they're going to want to buy a lot to there's a lot going on here. So I think all of that in hand, we should have been more aware that it was going to be a difficult time of it. But to be fair to Hasbro, and they hadn't really had a major issue like this with pre-orders since, I say since, it wasn't that long ago, but there wasn't that thing where they just randomly dropped Wreckage in the Tiger Paw. I want to say it was Wreckage in the Tiger Paw they randomly dropped, and people hated that because it was that sold out in a short period of time. But again, there was still time in that to get involved. It wasn't minutes, it wasn't single digit minutes, but people weren't too happy about there being this random drop, and then there were issues with the app and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I get that too. But before that, there hadn't really been a lot. They'd ironed out a lot of the issues, the Target issues had been ironed out, the Walmart issues that Hasbro could deal with were ironed out, apart from obviously how Walmart treat their product and how they deliver it via flaming trebuchet or carrier pterodactyl. All of that, stuff, it felt like it had been worked out. SDCC even felt like it had sort of got on top of it. Chuckles wasn't that difficult to get hold of, and it was okay, I'm feeling it now. I think things are going to be okay. Even the PulseCon exclusives weren't difficult. The 3-pack is still literally on Pulse, I think, at really cut down price. That was probably a misstep, but I think in terms of on their part, though, I don't mean as in difficult for us to get hold of, but it was aluminium. Von is how I say that, not aluminum. I say aluminium because I had an extra I in it, like the British love to do. So yeah, I think so I think all these different factors, I wasn't expecting there to be a dumpster fire, but probably should have done, and it was an absolute dumpster fire. The first one selling out in so few minutes is oh darn,
but they're going to do a pre-order for tomorrow, so there's another opportunity. Okay, great. Hopefully that'll be a bit longer than, oh no, that was a few minutes again. And also I'm not sure if they were listening to the screams from the crowd of limit of 5 per customer, please. Let's remove that. Limit of 1 or 2 makes more sense. I'll say 2. Let's just say 2, because that is a good balance. But 100%, can we please get a limit of 2 on this figure? No, we'll just go pre-order. Anyway, does that, sells out instantly again. Or do you know what? At one point I checked it, and it was sold out. And I'm like, no, it can't be that quick. It's literally just turned the hour. It must be taking a little while to, work itself out, and maybe add the, they may be messing around. There's a technical issue, whatever. So I gave it a little while, and then no, it sold out rapidly. And I was just like, yikes. And then the next faux pas comes last night, overnight, middle of the morning, really late. It goes up online at 4 a.m. or I don't know when it was exactly, but it was late. It wasn't, maybe it was earlier than that, or earlier than that, but it was ridiculous. I got up at, I think, 5 something, and I was posting a couple of things, because I was like, I might as well get on it now while I was on the toilet. Full disclosure. And someone says on one of the posts, he's up again. I'm like, hang on, what is it? I couldn't even I was wiping the crap out of my eyes. No, I wasn't crapping in my eyes, but I was looking at the phone going, who's up again? And I went and looked at Cobra Commander, and it said pre-order. And I did it. I went just to check. I went pre-order, put it in the cart, and I was like, oh, whoa, okay. So I made a post to say Cobra Commander's up again, posted it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And I think within about, again, 5 minutes of those posts, gone. And then apparently he'd been going up sporadically, every couple of hours, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. I was like, what is going on? Surely it should just be a case of, it is a pre-order, leave the frigging thing open until everyone's ordered and then close it again. I don't know. They must have a cutoff of what they can actually create and make. And this one is so popular for all the different reasons I've mentioned before, that it's just been really hard for people to get hold of. I can't believe PSA, don't crap in your eyes. I can't believe that I was fortunate enough to get one of these, because that never happens through this process ever. If I can get one, I just assumed, well, that was easy. I'm sure everyone else is going to have an absolute breeze. I will say this one more time out loud, and I don't know if other people have had this experience as well, but I have found that, forget the app, forget the phone browser, desktop on your laptop or on a computer, right? Use the desktop on a, I don't know, Chrome I use, right? Chrome seems to be solid for it. So I use Chrome browser. I make sure I'm logged in, make sure I've got all my stuff lined up, everything is ready. PayPal's locked in, we're sorted, right? Then when it gets right on the hour, when it literally turns the hour, bosh, go onto Hasbro Pulse and I'll search immediately, because there's no quicker way of doing this, because they never update the homepage or the exclusives page right away. It is always a delay on them getting the link up. And what I tend to do is I go into the search bar and I just searched once, because once was the most random word in the search criteria for that figure. And lo and behold, ping, it was right there on the hour, ready for me to just put it in the cart. And I went ding, 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 ding. And it was smooth as you like. It was done, dusted, covered in mustard. And then I find that doing that is always not guaranteed, but I've done that with all of the ones that I've wanted to just secure, make sure that everything is on point for a pre-order, because I have a feeling that maybe this one will be a cheeky one that might sell out, it might be difficult to get, yada yada yada. And I either got really lucky, or it was actually worth doing. Because reloading for the new page thing, don't do that, Studio Henge Ken 10. Just reloading each page, it takes so long for it to get up, at least on like the front number 1 page and that thing. I don't know why, it just takes ages. So I think in that sense, just going for a basic, like a search with the and to make it quicker, I typed in once and that was all I typed in, because I knew that isn't going to come up a lot on Hasbro Pulse, and it didn't. Cobra Commander was right there, bang, did it all, got it sorted, and it was done. So just in the future, that might be better. Now I know obviously a lot of people weren't in a position to do that. Some people had the phone, their iPad, their whatever they may be, the app, and couldn't do it, and that's totally, I understand, and that sucks if especially if it didn't work as well. But I know a few people who used the app and it worked for them, and they had that little poop your pants moment when there was a thing saying like, oh, your phone number's not right, or your whatever it may be. I saw a few people saying that they'd had that phone number issue pop up. So anyway, Bestow TV said, on the road with a laptop connected to my hotspot is how I had to do it. No way I trusted that 7p rumor. What was the 7p rumor? But the on the road with a laptop connected to my hotspot, that's guerrilla warfare, Bestow. I like that. That's a move right there. And also not exactly, the best way of doing it, but were you successful? Yes, Jarhead, most people are at work, including myself. I had the URL and kept refreshing it. Oh, that's right. The actual link was also available at that point, wasn't it? Yes. Should we? Yeah, massive shout out to like Preternia, 80s Toy Boy. There's more. GIJ. There's a bunch of people on, especially on X or Twitter, who are really on it when it comes to pre-orders and stuff like that, and they're always updating that information and always telling you if another one is out so you can get on it again really quick. It's really worth following any of them, honestly, or all of them, so that you can ensure that you are getting the links you need all the time. Star Wars hat, says Nictimus Prime. Yes, look, it's cool, isn't it? Got Luke, Leia, Han, Darth. It's got them all on there. Yes, it's a Star Wars hat. Mr. Cheeseburger says, people are quitting the line over one exclusive. McFarlane, NECA, Moto, Mattel, Jada all have exclusives. So I missed that. I missed that completely. Sorry. Mail away figures were exclusives. It's been part of the toy industry for over 40 years. Yeah, I mean, we have. We've been dealing with this for a long time. But I would say, like I said, it's been a while since we've had something this crazy. Ed says, for the phone number issue, I deleted my saved address and re-entered it, and it has worked with no issues so far. Good tip. I only had the phone number issue for the first few times I ordered since they redid the site. Oh, nice one, Derek. Indeed, hit the like button. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Cheeseburger. The 20 minutes between the email confirmation and it showing up in my order history was a pretty intense gut check. Michael, wow, that's crazy. Because I feel like once you get that thank you for ordering, everything's cool. I'm not even concerned about the email, honestly. I just feel like it's done. Everything's cool. They wouldn't, it wouldn't go onto that page and tell you it's all good if it wasn't. Famous last words. But I don't always necessarily follow up immediately to see if I got an email. So it's like later on when I got home, oh yeah, okay, it's all good. Jeremy says all fantastic sources. Yes, indeed, on X. Yeah, brilliant. They're great. Honestly, they're brilliant. Every place was reporting 7 p.m. on Monday, not 1 p.m. That's weird, Bestow. I went to work but took my laptop with me. I was successful. I pulled over and waited on Chrome for half an hour prior. Nice work. I didn't realize there was a 7 p.m. rumor on Monday. That seems weird. But yeah, I wouldn't have if I'd have seen it, I'd have been like, no. Phone app and number have some issues, says Kevin. Yep. Has Ed got 12 night creepers? Ed, that's crazy. I haven't got one yet. Kev says I went through the website. Yeah, so did I. I went through the website on a browser. It was the best way for me to do it. Jay says people quit the line all the time. Target Island made a lot of people quit and then they came back. Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's the thing in it. Like, you're within your rights to leave for whatever reason at any point. I mean, totally. And if it ruins your enjoyment of the hobby that much, which I'm sure it bloody does, it has to, then I'm with you. Like, get out, have a break, relax, do collect something else, or just like just take that time. And then if you want to come back to it, you can. It's always going to be there. Well, you know what I mean. For at least for the next few years. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like, people can dip in and out as much as they want, but like, and again, they're people's prerogative. If they get upset to the point of it ruining their hobby, I get it. I totally get it. I had to dip out for a little while, not through like anger or anything, but through, buying a house. So it was like, well, okay, looks like that's on hold for a bit, and we'll maybe resume after the fact. And that's what we did. So, it's all people's different, feelings, situations, whatever it may be. I totally understand. It wasn't until 2 hours prior did it become 1 p.m. Yeah, that's true. Like the actual official, reveal. I do get kind of confused as to why they have to leave. Like, a day in advance would have been enough. But obviously no one's really doing anything on the weekend. I get that. But Friday, maybe drop it on Friday and say, yeah, it's going to be Friday. And yeah, it's going to get here on Friday. Sorry, it's going to get here on Monday. But give people a bit of time to, get ready, get prepped, get set for it. And for those people that haven't really been paying attention online 24 hours a day, because maybe they're at work, like you said, like a few people said before, that's something that has to be taken into consideration. Now, I know I do some random live news bursts every now and again, but that's because I have to. It's, sometimes news, sometimes it's a bit late, but also because it's the only time I can, I can't get clear time periods to do things because my life is a bit hectic. What we got? I got one the second time around. I think I just got lucky, says PT Dubs. Oh, so happy that I'm actually genuinely happy you managed to get one on the second time round. Scott, before the update, my orders were still in my cart after I ordered and received confirmation. That had me worried for a while. Me too, because when I did the re-up for the new site, all that stuff about like, oh, you have to re-input this information and do this and change this, and I was kind of like, okay. And then when I went in, it was like, view all your old orders on this page. I'm like, oh god, what's going to happen now? And there was that whole bit of text on there that said you need to make sure this is done or it won't, your payment won't be taken, this won't be delivered, and that and I'm like, oh my god, like I don't know what to do. But yeah, all the old orders seem to be fine and everything worked, and it's worked so far, so great. But yeah, I mean, what a time to update the entire site and app, eh? I got lucky and was on my lunch break, says Derek. Jeremy says 7 p.m. was based on Death's Head, so everyone assumed Once a Man would follow suit before Hasbro announced a time officially. Yeah, I heard it was the Marvel guy who said 7 on Twitter. Yeah, and that was for, like Jeremy said, for Death's Head. I quit over Serpentor cock-up, but Nox brought me back, says Chris G. There's always something that gets you back. Ed says, I have a problem with army building. 22 Night Creepers is my goal. Dude. Once for each number in the Hebrew alphabet, Aleph to Tav. That's crazy pants, Ed. I love it. Each letter in the Hebrew alphabet, yeah. So when you said number in the Hebrew, I didn't notice until you said letter. But yeah, that's awesome. Can you maybe just say, I'll just get a few and Chris can have one? Because I'm just kidding. That's crazy. Good luck in your search for that. I've really not had a hard time getting these. Been in since the beginning. Lucky maybe. The only one I was missing was CoverGirl, and she just showed up at Ross for $5. And also, PT, she was never really difficult to get hold of either. She was always going to be on like Pulse, for a while, and other retail places as well. I remember the days when a bad head sculpt made us angry, Leon says. That's been fixed though, hasn't it? Knew I wasn't going to get it because of work. Not mad about it, but understand those who are. Exactly, Jihad. I have to agree with that comment. That comment indeed. I've collected and hunted G.I. Joes every configuration since A Real American Hero, with the exception of G.I. Joe Extreme and Sigma 6, says Jay. Those are the only times I stepped away. I will say, yeah, I think you and many people in here are in a similar boat with that. I had to step out at the end of high school. Sorry, actually, most of the way, midway through high school, because they'd stopped selling them effectively. So I thought it was I stopped around about 94, 95, or 94, and then didn't know there were other things going on all the way up until, God, it had to be like early 2000s. Yeah. So I'd gone like about 5 years not knowing there was G.I. Joe was really happening, because I was like having to do other things like, go to high school and college. I could never see anything sold once. I could never see anything solid on Once a Man. I saw that was the Marvel, and other sites were picking it up saying all SDCC exclusives. Okay. Josh says, leaving the line is always going to be a good idea. They make it easy. Do they? For years, people have hated Cobra La. Now these same fans are mad they can't get a figure they grew up hating. In some respects, Mr. Cheeseburger, I think. Back 10 years ago in the days of Hasbro Toy Shop, there wasn't any notification. You sat on the site hitting refresh and chatting in forums, waiting for the drop. 2014 was like 8 days. Damn. Steven says, Chris, I need you to blink, breathe, and/or talk to confirm there's a hardball coming in 2025. I can't do any. I'm not confirming that, but even though you've caught me in a trap there, Steven. Travis B got his on the second round. I think I was lucky as well. It was gone after I checked out. Anyway, sorry. Cool. I'm glad that some of you did get this on the second time around. TMNT reference. So I am going to move on from exclusives to, I've got 2 Cobra Commanders in there. That's why. That's funny. Brilliant. Okay. Should we talk about Cobra Commander again for an act? Just kidding. No, it's Mega Blocks, or Mega, I should say now, Ace. So Brian_Blocks on Instagram has been posting these little images every now and again. The first one he posted showed Duke with his backpack and rifle and what looked like Ace. And now we can pretty much confirm that, yes, it was Ace. Here he is, basically just, there he is. Yes, Vaughn, we talked about HasLab at the beginning of the show, breaking 13K. But yeah, we're we did the whole HasLab chat already. So Mega Ace. So I've been calling it Mega Constructs this whole time, and then I was told, actually, it's just called Mega now, mate. It's like, great. It used to be Mega Blocks, then it was Mega Constructs. Now it's just Mega. It's just going to be next, or me, or Meg. It'll be Meg. It'll just be Family Guy in Mega Block figures. Anyway, it's Ace. And I have to say, I do like this figure. I think it's really cute. And those eyes make him look like a Rick and Morty character, I think. He kind of looks like a Rick and Morty background character. And that's actually selling it for me even more, which is hilarious. Entree Jones says, not a fan of the Mega Ace. Fair enough. I do like it. I think he looks really fun and cool. I think the eyes are a bit massive, but it's just a lot of white there. But I do like this one, and we're not sure if this is if it's been actually, Brian say when he posted this originally? Because I'll see if there's anything in the blurb to give us any more info. It just says G.I. Joe Ace Mega Constructs, really. That's all. I didn't like that. Sorry, I didn't like that. Should have liked that. Should have liked that one as well. So yeah, there's no new posts for G.I. Joe on his particular page, but there was no extra information here. So this could just be painted. The prototype that came out could just be the painted prototype. It could be another stage in that kind of process. It could be final production. We don't know. At this stage, it looks pretty there, but it also could just easily have been the prototype painted. So I don't know to actually make an educated guess from this visual. I can't really tell. So Ace, I am very excited for the Mega line, genuinely. I think the Duke figure looked great as well, and I hope we get some sort of like a multi-pack. This could be one of those things where we could be getting some sort of Sky Striker. I wouldn't be against that. I think it would be amazing. I could see them doing a Sky Striker with Ace and Duke as like the figures that come with it. I know Pat and I talked about that a little while ago. We don't have any information about this, by the way. I have no clue what's going on with this, and it was just as shocking out of the blue to me as I'm sure it was for most of you. I will also say that, of course, we did but we did speculate at the possibility of G.I. Joe doing Mega or Mega Blocks at the time. I think I talked about it as Mega Blocks. But it was when Hasbro and Mattel signed a licensing agreement to produce a crossover product between themselves, like based on the Barbie success. I think Hasbro just saw a good opportunity there of, you know, making sure they got involved in that as well, so they could produce Barbie related merch. And again, like this kind of licensing agreement, because it feels like they've been trying to buy Mattel for the longest time, and the last time they tried, Mattel basically said that's like an insulting offer and we're not going to accept it. And then just recently, more news popped out that Mattel looked to be, or like there was a bid in for Mattel by a company that does this sort of thing, that buys these kind of companies. Which I'd probably stay clear of that stuff genuinely most of the time. Like it's bad enough if Hasbro do it, they're going to break it down and, you know, strip it and sell it for parts, of course. But I don't know. I feel like it would be kind of silly for them if they did buy it to make Mattel some sort of like, you know, make it like a historical, never to be heard of again sort of company. I think it feels good to have lots of different like big companies doing things in the toy industry. Like, you know, I feel like there should be, you know, it shouldn't just be one. It shouldn't just be like one monopoly, pun intended. In any case, what was I even talking about? Yes, so we speculated on the fact that G.I. Joe might do something with this based on that licensing agreement, and lo and behold, it looks like they have. The fact that what was it? Hot Wheels Transformers was another one, wasn't it? So that's been another kind of little sort of byproduct of that licensing agreement. Hazmat toys, that's great, Ed. Actually, what a great, like, the combo of those two. Hazmat, oh, genius. And I have to agree on that one, Scotty, a little bit. I do feel like Mega are a bit better than Creo. I like Creo. I think they're cute and fun and everything, but again, I don't know. I don't know. I think Mega Blocks have just got it down, especially with the figures. I love the Motu figures were amazing. The Turtles, I have every single Mega Constructs, Mega Blocks, Mega Turtles release, including the Technodrome, which Kate and I put together and did a video on it, which was fun. Years, ages ago, and it took us 6 months because I had to leave the country in order to then come back on a fiance visa. So we started this video of making this, you know, like time lapse technodrome, and then had to leave the country. When I came back, it was like 6 months later when we actually finished the build and the video. Hilarious. Kate even taped out on the floor where the tripod was, so we could get everything in the same position again, like to film the time lapse. Amazing stuff. Anyway, you can check that out actually on Diagnostic 80s Reviews page. It's still alive on YouTube. I don't do anything on there anymore, really. It's all old videos, but you can check it out if you want. Anyway, so there's Mega Ace, which is really cool. Now, there's one more story to go into. We've kind of covered everything, I think, on that one. Talked about the speculation of what we could see. The fact we've only seen Duke and Ace so far makes me think there might be a Sky Striker involved. That could just be wishful thinking. Could just be 2-packs. Could be multi-packs. I'd love to see one. There's a Motu one, wasn't it, that had like loads of the figures in. I'd love to, you know, like get some multi-packs going. That'd be really cool. Get a bunch of different Joes. And they'd be cute. I think it'd also be like really... they'd be really like... dare I say it, like, not too expensive, because I don't really recall the TMNT stuff being that expensive. The Technodrome was expensive, but we ended up getting that, like, it was on sale for half price because it was like 300 and something bucks, I think, initially, and that came down to 150. And then we had when it was for 150, Toys R Us, I think we had like some sort of coupon or special offer or something that was added on top of that. So we ended up getting it for much, much cheaper. Anyway. Yeah. Ed is a geek. Kate is a geek anyway. So yeah, she's a geek. Just like me. We're both geeks. The Mega toy line gets into a lot of smaller stores. It's like Dollar General because of the low price point. Would be a great way to get the Joe brand out there. Yeah, White, totally. Army builder packs, Harrison. Yeah, indeed. Sorry. Okay, cool. There you go. So it's Ace, Mega Ace, Bosch. More to come, I imagine. And I'm going to keep an eye and follow Brian_blocks as well on Instagram, because he does. This is the second image he's posted now of these, and I expect him to post more. And I do every morning tend to just have a look on his page just in case. What is funny is usually first thing in the morning I'll have about 5 people send me stuff, the same stuff, which is great. I'm not gonna complain. It keeps me on top of everything to a degree. Yeah, shout out to everyone that sends me messages and says, oh, have you seen this? You probably have. And sometimes it's the case that I haven't seen it. I have literally just got up. I do go to bed quite early as well. I'm not sure if you've noticed that, but I go to bed early and I get up at the crack of sparrow farts, as my dad used to say. Anyway, as he still does say that. Ace, Mega, boom, moving on. Now, classified parts, got more images, and I thought it'd be worth having a quick butchers at these just to go, any ideas? Because there's me, like, again, people send me this stuff and they'll say like, oh, look, blowtorch parts. And I'll be like, oh, cool. And then I'll quickly just get it on the Facebook, get it on the Facebook, get it on the Twitter, get it on the Instagram, and just put that information out there and boom. And then I look at them and I go, oh, wait, hang on. Yeah, that is blowtorch, but that isn't. That's Frag Viper, but that isn't. Oh, that's heavy duty, but that. And so it's really me just being very tired and also very excited and stupidly rushing these things when I should take my time. So my fault on that. And that's why you get a lot of edits and notes in some of the posts sometimes. Anyway, so thank you for those people that do send me stuff. It's appreciated. Trust me. Now, this image is taken from the same stock of images. I should also hang about. same sort of images that we've seen from Weibo for, it looked like the heavy duty bandolier in the top that's kind of out of focus. Now that looked very much like heavy duty's bandolier based on the vintage figure. So, sorry, I can't multitask for crap, can I? And I just want to give credit where credit is due. These images, these particular images we're looking at, were courtesy of Shaw Lu. So thank you, Shaw Lu, for these. And like I said, we've got this secondary, which looks like some sort of like thigh strap with a pouch and grenades, right? Looking at heavy duty, or it could be a belt, actually, couldn't it? What do you guys think? Based on that thumb, I can't actually tell. Maybe it's a belt. Does anyone think that's a belt, or do they think it's a thigh strap? I think I've looked at it thinking it's some sort of thigh secondary, but haven't really given it enough visual. I know those ones in the, again, out of kind of a blurry bottom right hand side. Yeah, it's a belt, isn't it? On the like those are definitely thigh straps, aren't they? And the blurry to the right bottom right are certainly thigh strap secondaries, but that is a belt, so it could be heavy duty. It could be heavy duty. The fact I'm saying heavy duty really is only down to the fact that we have a bandolier in the same photo set in the same vicinity. It might be, it might not be. Who do you guys think it belongs to? Do you think it's heavy duties? Have you been told specifically that? A few people saying, yeah, belt, heavy duty belt, belt, looks like a belt, belt. Sabir says, Felix is having an amazing week for goodies being delivered. Sounds like I missed that. What did Felix say? Sorry, Felix. Full force. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, and that is right here. Got Jinx, Torch, Doc, Airborne, Beachhead, and Snow Serpent. Night Creeper is in transit. Things are going well. That is impressive. Congratulations. I'm curious to see Frag Viper, says Jay. So am I, actually. I know we've seen little bits and pieces. Leon says HD belt has his initials on it, right? What? You mean the vintage? Or do you mean this one? Because I can't see anything on that one. Does that say HD on it? I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I think it does. I can't remember. Mr. Cheeseburger says that's Big Lob's belt. Grenades wise. Looks like a belt to me, says White. Yeah, it does look like a belt, doesn't it? I want to see them do Desert Scorpion and Crimson Guard Immortal, says Jay. To be honest, both of those, I mean, they've talked about Desert Scorpion so much that if they don't do it, I'll be surprised. And Crimson Guard Immortal is probably one that you could see them doing because it adds another character to their Crimson kind of strike subline, doesn't it? So yeah, totally, definitely. Yes, the vintage one, Leon. Yes, so he has HD on his belt. Maybe it's on there and you just can't see it. I don't know. Maybe that's the back of the belt. Again, yeah, that's the other thing. Could be anyone's belt, couldn't it? Really, let's face it. But I'm going to just err on the side of what the most obvious answer could be, and that's heavy duty, based on the fact that his bandolier is also in that particular vicinity. But there are other things that might not be heavy duties in there as well. So whatever. Anyway, that was the first one. Then we have these, which are quite clearly the legs for Blowtorch. Let's face it. And I'm liking it. And it looks like we're going to have some sort of removable part for the top thigh, for the thigh piece. So it looks like that'll be a separate part that glues in to make more depth and shape and texture and what have you. So that's cool. And I imagine it'll just be a little either one or two of those little circular Centurion nodules again. Heavy duty and high definition. Exactly, Scott. The figures are flowing in this week for collectors. Don't have anything coming in hot this week in classified, but I have the ones I wanted out of the newest wave, says Sabir. Yes, I've been really fortunate actually in acquiring some of the new stuff. The only ones I'm missing at the moment are Snow Serpent Retro and the Night Creeper. That's it. Everything else is on its way, or doesn't exist yet technically, which is good. Glad Blowtorch has his Centurion's armor. Me too. I mean, there's no doubt we're looking at Blowtorch's legs here. There's no doubt in my mind at all. The most iconic, like you couldn't leak body parts of Blowtorch and get away with it, could you? Because it's so obvious who that character is. And I can't wait to see this in either red and yellow or tan and green, but I imagine it'll be red and yellow. I'm only joking. Do I think Blowtorch will have modular parts like Tripwire? Well, Jason, he's a retail Wave of 4 figure, so he'll be a single box release. He won't be a deluxe or anything like that. So I don't think he'll have the level of modularity. Have I made that word up? Scott, can I get a modularity check, please, on that word? Thank you. Scott knows what I'm talking about. He's already corrected me once about rapidity, which I thought I'd made up, but actually it does exist. But in terms of like, will he have possibly modular pieces? I don't see why not. There might be certain elements on him, or you might look at it and go, maybe it'll just be the backpack, the helmet, the mask and pipe, and all that stuff. But maybe modularity is good, says Ed. Thank you, but I'm not saying anything until Scott does the check for me. Ed, sorry. Not that I don't trust you, Ed. Even if you have a BFA in creative writing, I will make the call here. All right, then, fine, thank you. Modularity is fine. Here's me thinking I'm making up words like I'm intelligent, but no, I'm just stupidly saying, thank you, Scott. Brilliant. Anyway, Blowtorch legs, gotta be looking good. Can't wait to see it red and yellow. Moving on. Now, this is interesting because immediately I thought Blowtorch when I saw the tanks, but then I thought, well, is it? And then I'm going to look at Blowtorch, right? I'm going to look at Blowtorch. You can't stop me. Nobody stop me. Just let me do what I need to do. It takes me that long to type in 3D Joe's Blowtorch, doesn't it? I mean, he has tanks on his backpack, so there's nothing. I mean, I could see that working. I like the straps, by the way. Are we finally doing straps forever? Is it straps forever? Are we talking straps going forward? Because if that's the case, that will make me very happy. If we're doing straps on backpacks forever, I'm in. You had me at straps. Questions modularity drops furore. I know I've got a good vocabulary. I just sometimes forget that some words are real. Anyway, straps, right? That, and obviously Blowtorch has tanks for his backpack. But this, I don't know. Could this be it? Could it be partial of it? Could it be something else? Could we be dealing with some other sort of thing? I don't know. It seems a little obvious to me, or it seems a little, what's the word? Coincidental. Knowing that Blowtorch is coming, knowing that we've just seen Blowtorch's, Kitty said, we've just seen Blowtorch's legs. That this just feels like it's probably Blowtorch as well. And that helmet, do we think that's probably Blowtorch as well? Do we think he's got like a more modernized sort of one to match like Grunt and Airborne and all those crew? Chris, I'm good for words. Exactly. Thanks, Scott. Lots of Joe fans into bondage, it seems. People want straps, man. Strap axe. Straps, please. Love me some backpack straps, says Diana. The helmet makes me think of Salvo, probably because of the color. Yeah, Jay, definitely. I always do that. Whenever I see something in a certain color, even if it's obviously not that thing, I'll just go with the deco. Stars and straps, says Felix. I like it. Strappy do, says Leon. I like all these strap puns. God, I hope so. Straps on backpack, hell yes, says Derek. Helmet without mask, maybe. It could be, couldn't it, Scott? Because you could easily do the helmet, yada, 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 and then the mask goes on separately. But that little thing on the chin bit makes me think that maybe not. Maybe it's just a rock. Yeah, maybe it's just another helmet for one of the other guys. Maybe it's Docs or whoever. And it's just like in there for comparison or whatever. I don't know. Maybe a movable visor. Oh, that would be cool, wouldn't it? I'm looking at his helmet now, and yeah, it kind of does. It would be great if, I mean, maybe they'll do helmet, goggles, mask, 3 separate pieces. Yeah, it's not Doc's, is it, Scott? Because it doesn't have the pills on the side of it. Either way, I don't know, and I'm not going to make that judgment, but it could possibly be Blowtorch's more modernized helmet. It looks like 1 tank but 2 valves, but I guess it's a double tank, says Leon. Yeah, good shout. Again, I'm not that au fait with a lot of the details on these things, and they must have done research into specific things. So I wouldn't, they've made mistakes in the past with design, of course, but I don't know. Anyway, is that everything? I think that's everything. I'm going to leave it there because I've gone actually longer than I wanted to. I was going to keep this short, believe it or not, but no, we've gone ages, as we always do, as I always do. It's not your fault. And that's all we have for the classified, leaked images. Just going through our leaked listings. I'm still going to show 2024 because I like all of that green, but I will be completing this after we get Starduster and Nemesis Immortal, actually locked down for a pre-order date. And when that date passes, they'll go green, and we will retire the 2024 leaked listings graphic in some sort of like sad, bugle playing, military style funeral music, and we'll retire the leaked listings 2024, and we will make sure that 2025 just gets all the good stuff. So if you didn't see my update a couple of days ago, there are a couple of new things here, and I've put them in purple for you to see. So we've got the Trent Pet, which is G1227, and we've got Legacy RR Angelica G0966. They are, again, like it's another 60th sort of vibe. So, 2 more listings. And until we get some name-only reveals, I can't say anything about them. But this is fun, and this is cool. And I tell you what, it's not bad, is it? We've got some yellow on there, some revealed. Still a lot of red though, and we've got a lot of cool stuff to come. So maybe even a little update very soon again on some of these listings as well. So fingers crossed we get that maybe next week or a couple of weeks. We'll see how it goes. You can never keep it short, Chris, but we don't mind. Well, I appreciate that, Felix. Say aluminium again. There you go, Von. Aluminium. David says, based on the Night Creeper, I think we'll be getting Slice and Dice next because he's awesome. Slice and Dice, I think, would be great as a 2-pack, and I would love to see them 100%, David. I think that'd be wicked. Chris Short, lol. Thanks, Jeremy. What does that? Hang on. Jay says, well, it proves the G.I. Joe brand team is listening, which is a good thing. About the straps, yeah, definitely. Scott says it was short for you. It was a little bit, wasn't it? Or maybe we haven't finished yet, have we? Backpack. Oh, Bazooka's backpack stays on through sheer willpower. Yes, it does, Ed, completely. Right. Any more? Any more for any more? 21 Gundam salute for the 2024 listings, indeed. Thank you, Chris, for the listings. You're welcome, Jason. Have a good rest of the PM, Full Force Gang. Thank you, Sabir. You too. Thanks for all the comments and everything. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to PulseCon reveals. Scott, I'm already looking forward to them as well. PulseCon reveals, 1027. There's so much to look forward to still. It's great. Looking forward to seeing the Claw showcase when ready. Never had the 375 3 3/4 version or 4-inch in one when it came out. Mate, the Claw looks incredible. Anyway, let's call it an evening. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Stay fresh, cheese bags. And as always, after 3, 1, 2, 3, Full Force. Laters. That's it for this installment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, Full Force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on X, formerly Twitter, @TheFullForce, liking the Facebook page, facebook.com/TheFullForce. We've also added a brand new Instagram, so check us out there as well, @TheFullForce Podcast, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback and questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/TheFullForce Podcast, or click on the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force!